We're excited for the beginning of conference play, and I just think it's a real honor to play in the Southeastern Conference and to compete in what is, most certainly the best athletic league in the country, just top to bottom, all sports. It's a powerful conference, and in women's basketball it certainly is. And for us to have the opportunity to compete in the conference is a real honor. So we're excited to get it started. It is going to be very, very challenging all season long, and it opens up with a real tough one at Alabama. They are a very athletic team. They have what I think is one of the just toughest players in the league, and Williams is just so tough down in the post and in the block, and can also bring it out on the floor and take it to you. And so we have had some struggles with our post defense, and we're going to have to meet a real tough challenge down at Alabama. They, I would imagine, have some confidence against us. They won the last game they played against us, and so we really need to rise and meet the challenge here as we open conference play. You only have 8 opportunities to go on the road in this league and win, and every one of those is just like a piece of gold. I'm telling you, a road win in the SEC is really valuable. So we'll put everything we have into it and see if we can go down and play extremely hard against a good Alabama team.
When Bria went down, you mentioned the post players needing to step up as much as the perimeter players. What have you seen from them so far, maybe outside of the 2 games that we've seen?
Well, we just had some individual defensive work this morning, and it's sort of inconsistent, and that's what's so concerning is, it's some good, some bad. And what we're really trying to do is even that out. And it's difficult because we're so young there. And I just don't think, I think we're having a hard time understanding how hard we have to play. I think that some of the young post players are, and this is probably most certainly true, they're playing as hard as they've ever played. But it's just not quite hard enough for what's coming and what looms in the conference. And so it's just a real difficult process right now defensively to try to get them to understand you have to put multiple actions, back to back. So you just can't do one thing and then rest. You have to keep playing throughout a possession. So I think that's our biggest challenge right now is just defensively for our post players to understand how consistent the effort has to be. But before we're consistent, we just have to learn how tenacious and how hard we have to play. I don't know how else to put it.
Any updates on Jen?
Jen is out on the court as we speak, going through a shooting workout, and I had the post players on the other end, but the little bit that I saw, it looked like she did well this morning. She went through about an hour of shooting last night, and those were game-like shots, and she looked good and bounced back this morning. So I think she is. It looks to me that she's progressing well. We are feeling good about her progress right now.
What was the recruiting process like with Alexis Jennings, and what were some of the things that you sort of liked about her when you were recruiting her and pulling a kid out of Alabama?
Yeah. Well, Alexis came to camp, I think, between her sophomore and junior year. It may have been her freshman and sophomore year. I can't remember exactly, but I met her at our summer camp, and she came in and was very raw at that time, and I thought she had some potential, but it was an interesting recruiting process because she was one of those that you had to watch a few times and really to understand her value. So she is athletic, but she's not the most athletic. She is, I would say powerfully quick. It's not like blinding quickness and speed, but she's very explosive because she's got a nice power base, and that's improved as she's gotten here. But you really had to watch her to see this wide complement of offensive skills that she possesses. And she can handle the ball. She can shoot the ball from the perimeter. She's really developing some nice back to the basket moves, and so it was a process. It was not walk in the gym one time, see it, and so I really admired her because I thought she kept working hard, and Kentucky was one of the final schools in the conference to offer her, and I just have to get settled and know it's right and know it's the right fit. We just don't offer everybody and put out blanket offers, and so that was a little nerve-wracking maybe for me because everybody in the conference was offering her, and I just had to get settled on what kind of player I thought she could be and where she could fit in. And once that happened, I think we developed a really good relationship, and I just have so much admiration for her. Her parents are really great people. She has come in and been able to handle some adversity, and her parents have been really supportive, and so they're good people. She is a sort of a slow processor as it goes to processing what needs to happen. And so that creates some tension between us right now because we gotta get going defensively here. But once I went to her home, to get back to the recruiting process, once I went to her home and was in her home and around her parents, grandparents, I knew she was a Kentucky type kid and type player that we need here. And I think she has a very bright future.
Are lots of post players slow to develop in that way? I mean, I know we've talked about that before, that, high school post players don't necessarily have to play that hard because they're bigger than everybody else. Mm-hmm. Or is she taking extra time, or what's the difference with her?
I don't know that she's taking extra time.
Is it that you're a patient, I guess?
No, well, I don't. I'm sure there's some impatience in all of us this time of year because we know what's coming up with the league, and if you have young players, you're trying to get them to understand. But I feel good about where she's progressing, and one thing that's in her favor is if she's having a good day offensively, she can really help you and make up for some of the deficiencies on defense. But that's just not a good formula for success to score more than you give up. You just want to get solid on defense, and when it finally clicks for her, we're going to have a really, really top level player.
Anything else, you guys? Is Alyssa Rice back healthy? Mm-hmm. She was ill, is that right?
Yeah, she came back from the break not feeling well at all, really fatigued from just what's going around and what some managers have had it, the coaches have had it, the players just, kind of that deal going around. So she was really didn't have a lot of energy when she came back. Looked very good this morning in her defensive individual, and has worked hard the last couple of days. So she's playing really tough defensively. Now we got to get her going offensively. So we got to get everybody leveled out and evened out in the post. But she looked good this morning.
And then you had mentioned Jalea Sidney was going to come back after Christmas, but
yep.
She didn't. Are you saying conference play, or are you?
Yeah, so we just have started back trying to get her on the floor, and now we'll try to work her back into shape. She was in the individual this morning. We don't have her into contact yet. So I would say we're probably at a couple of weeks, 3 weeks of trying to get her conditioning back. And hopefully by February, maybe sooner, I don't know, but we're going to be very conservative. The whole idea has been, can she make a contribution for us at the most important time of the year? Can she help us compete for a conference championship? Can she help us get to the NCAA tournament and advance? And so that's a plan. It's a finite number of plays left in her knees. And so she has now, since she came back from the break, she has been participating in various on-court activities, no contact yet.